Hey guys, okay, so today I'm going to be giving you an updated makeup routine, and I haven't done one of these in a while, so I thought it was about time. So I'm just going to be showing you how I do my makeup, just like my face makeup, and then I'm going to be showing you this tutorial of how to do this smoky eye. So I really hope you like it, and thank you so much for watching. I am just going to jump into it. I'm going to be doing kind of a pretty basic look, but with a smoky eye. And I've really been liking a smoky eye lately, and I don't know why I don't do them more often. It's really fun just to play up your eyes, and they're just a really beautiful area of the face, so it's fun to play them up. So I am going to go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing, I already used a moisturizer with SPF in it, so my face is nice and moisturized. So now I'm going to go in with a primer. And it's the NYX Shine Killer Primer, and this is a lot like the Smashbox primer in the consistency, the look, the feel, the way that it goes on your face, and the way that it helps your foundation go on better as well. And it's going to also help with shininess if you have oily skin. So I'm going to pat this all around my face. Then I'm going to go in with my matte concealer in NW20. And I'm going to go ahead. I still have a little bit of a shadow here from pregnancy. If you've ever seen a big pregnant belly, there's a lot of times a line down the middle of it, and it's a discoloration that happens when you're pregnant. And sometimes that happens actually in other parts of your body. Like for me, my upper lip got a little bit darker, so it looks like I have a mustache, even though I don't. So I need to get like a skin lightener. I got one, and I just need to keep using it and help to lighten up that area. But for now, I'm just going to use a concealer to give my foundation a bit of a head start. So I want to pat it all around, and then I have a little bit of veins and redness around my nose, so I'm going to use that as well, and pat it all in my skin, kind of covering up the stuff that I don't want really exposed. And I might take just like a tiny bit and go over my nose and cheeks a little bit because they are a little bit red, just to help my foundation just a little bit. Then I'm going to take my damp beauty blender. I have loved this lately for applying my foundations, because I have nice brushes, and most of the time it just looks like I have like brush strokes, or it doesn't blend well in between this area, like if it's a tiny bit drier here, or like up here it's a like tiny bit drier. And especially if you use matte foundations, any matte foundation to some extent is going to want to grab onto some of your drier areas and just not look, it's going to get clingy and kind of patchy. So a damp beauty blender, especially with a matte foundation, it's just going to work wonders. So that's just what I've found lately. That's all I've been using is my damp beauty blender. It just makes everything go on so much better. This is the Estee Lauder, Estee Lauder, I don't know how to say that, Double Wear Stay in Place foundation. I'm going to use a little bit of that, and this is a matte foundation. And I'm going to use a little bit of my L'Oreal Visible Lift Blur foundation, and this is just one of my favorite foundations. It's a little bit creamier, so it's just going to make the other foundation a tiny bit creamier. And I've just been loving to mix all my foundations lately, partly because it seems like foundations never match me perfectly, usually because I order them online and just kind of take a guess. So I'll take a lighter one and a darker one, and then I'll mix them on the back of my hand like this, and you can kind of get like a better consistency if you use like a matte and a creamy or whatever. So this is just kind of a nice way to get the desired color and to get the desired consistency. You can just kind of make your own. So I'm going to spread this all over with my finger. Then take my damp beauty blender and just bounce it all across my face. So neither of these foundations are really like full coverage, and I do have a little bit more redness in my cheeks. So I'm just going to add a little bit more in the cheek area just to kind of cover that redness a little bit. My nose. Just to make sure it's nice and covered. And the nice thing about the Beauty Blender is it's kind of your fail-safe as far as helping you not to put too much product on, because it'll just absorb the excess product. So that's also a really great thing about this. Next, I'm going to use my concealer. This is my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NW20. And I'm just going to do one squirt on the back of my hand. And it's like 3 dots under each eye. I'm going to do a little bit in between my eyebrows here, my lower forehead, and just kind of do like a little flower shape there. And then a little bit down my nose, my upper lip, and my chin. My kids always think it's really funny when they see me doing this. So now we're just going to blend everything out. And I usually like to use the same side, like not the clean side of the Beauty Blender. I like to use the side that it has my foundation on it, just because it kind of just helps it blend just a little bit better. And I'm going to blend it all the way out in my inner corner of my eye, and my lid, and my eyebrow. I never like just to do it like right here so it looks too stark or the light color, you know. So I like to kind of blend it a little bit or a lot around my eye. And then the same thing with the other side. So sorry if I forget to tell you what I'm doing at any point. Usually when I do my makeup, it's after I drop off Evelette at school and I lay Stella down for her morning nap, and then Hugh just watches cartoons on the bed. There's like a TV up above here, so he'll do that, and I just kind of zone out and do my makeup, and it's kind of like my time to drink my coffee and just kind of wake up. So if I zone out or whatever, forget to say what I'm doing, just ask me in the comments. Like, what were you doing here? So just to give you a little warning. Okay, so I've got my concealer on and it's nice and blended. I have stuff all over my hands, so I'm gonna go wash my hands and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and clean. So now I'm going to set some areas here, and I'm also going to do some contouring. So I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light, or just Shade Light palette. And I have never used this palette, so this is going to be my first time using it. I just recently got it, but I've heard amazing things about it, so I'm really excited to play with it. So I am going to use, whoops, I forgot to show you what I'm using. I'm using my NYX Mineral Set It Don't Fret It powder, and I'm just going to use this to set my nose and right here where I get a little oily in my T-zone here. So I'm going to set that first, maybe a little bit of my chin, and I'm going to be done with that. And then I'm going to go in and start highlighting and contouring a little bit. Just kind of guessing here, I'm going to use Levitation and Lyric, and I'm going to mix both of them to set my under eye. And I'm using this Shade and Light brush by Kat Von D as well. And I'm going to do this just to keep my concealer from moving at all. It's just going to keep it there all day. So I'm going to mix those two again and do the other eye. I'm just using this kind of tapered, fluffy end of this brush. And I'm going to do in between my eyebrows again, then my lip and my chin. And then I'm going to use this kind of at it's like an angle. And I'm going to use this end for my contouring. So I think for the color that I'm going to use is this middle one called Shadow Play. And I'm going to just dab it on there lightly and tap it off. And I'm going to just kind of go at an angle of where my, like the bottom of my cheek is. Just really kind of carve that out. And just kind of use like circular motions. And just kind of carve out that cheek. Just kind of lightly, not too hard or anything. So that side. And then I'm going to do just a little bit again, tap it off, and do the same thing to my other side here. Just really carving out that cheekbone. So I kind of like go at an angle just to kind of make it look like more of a Bali cheek, not just like a straight line. Whoops, twisted my brush here. Just kind of carving out that area. And then I'm going to go, and because I have such a large forehead, for me, if you don't have a large forehead, you might not want to do as much contouring, but I like to kind of shrink my forehead a little bit. So I kind of I do along my hairline first, just real lightly. Maybe get a little bit more, and then kind of go down a little bit towards my eyebrows. So leaving this kind of space lighter, and then the rest of it just kind of darkening it up a little bit, just to kind of make the appearance of my forehead less large, if you will. And kind of going down my temples and down to that cheekbone area. Okay. And then I am just going to take that same color and do just kind of along my jawline here and up to my ear, just following that jawline, and then down my neck as well, just so everything just kind of matches. That way my neck isn't like super white or something compared to my face. And then if you're got more of your chest showing, you can kind of go over that too. All right, so that's not like a super strong, it's more like a bronzy look. It's not a super it's not a super strong contour. It's more of kind of like a natural looking contour, which I really like. But if you were wanting to go for something a little bit darker, you could use this color. This is like really too dark for me, I think. This would be like, I don't know, I'd have to use a small little bit. But I'm just going to go in with the Subconscious one and just kind of go back and try to make my contour a little bit more noticeable. So kind of just drawing a little bit more of a line here and then blending that out. That's what's fun about these palettes, is you can totally play with them and make them just your own. Go for different looks. So just kind of going more back and forth this time. And just making it slightly of a more dramatic contour. Not super dramatic, but just a little bit more so. And then maybe kind of go just with leftover stuff for me. I don't want to draw too much attention to my beautiful big nose, so I'm just going to use kind of the leftover and kind of go down the side and then kind of go back and forth on the end here. Just to contour it just a little bit, but not go crazy. Like, I think sometimes if I try too hard, it just doesn't work. So just kind of going over it a little bit. Did our contouring. We're going to go in with a MAC blush, and it was like a limited collection, whatever, by Kelly Osbourne, and it's Cheeky Bugger. I think I've used it before, but I just really like it. It's just like a really pretty pink, peachy, light color. And for my brush, I'm going to use my MAC 168. Yeah, 168. This is a nice angled fluffy brush. And just kind of, I like to just kind of pat it, kind of go up my cheek and just pat that light pretty color on. All right, and then I do a little bit on my forehead and my chin and then down my neck just to kind of blend everything out. So I have a little hint of that color. just kind of everywhere. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and highlight. And I absolutely love this highlight color by Becca, and it's Opal. And I'm going to use my Sonia Kashuk brush. It just came like in a collection box from Target, like a whole set of brushes. So I'm just going to brush it on the top of my cheeks here, maybe down a little bit. And I've been liking to go like a little bit lower just because it really like accentuates your whole cheek. And do the same thing on the other side. And maybe I'll do a little bit on my nose and top of my forehead there. So that is pretty much it for my makeup for my face. So now I'm going to move in with my eyebrows and eyes and lips. The first thing is the eyebrows. The eyebrows are very important. They are like great for framing your face. I have kind of interesting eyebrows because they're a little bit lopsided. It's just the way God made me. So this one is lower than this one. So I try to even it out, and sometimes it looks really weird because I'm like trying to draw this one a little bit taller. I have interesting eyebrows, that's all I can say. So I'm just going to show you how I do it, how I try to make them even. I'm going to brush the hair up so they're out of my way. My hair is kind of long. My eyebrow hair is kind of long right now. I need to trim them. But I kind of just brush them out of the way and then draw a line at the bottom and try to just make the eyebrow shape that I want. So I draw just kind of a line at the bottom here. And then to get rid of my kind of sperm-like shape here, it's from plucking them wrong for so long, all my junior high and high school years. So just kind of draw underneath there and then fill this area in just a little bit. And then go ahead and draw out, pressing a little bit harder, and draw out a longer tail here. And once I kind of have that done, then I kind of lay my pencil sideways and just do kind of flicking up motions just to kind of go with the natural grain of the hair here, or the way that the hair grows, and then just kind of filling it all in. I'm going to try and do this a little bit taller just to make it match this side without making it look too obvious or weird. So sometimes I can do it pretty well and sometimes not. So we shall see. So that's the brow wiz portion. Then I'm going to take my clear brow gel by Anastasia and I'm going to just kind of run that through my eyebrows. It makes them look a little bit more hair-like and it keeps my crazy long hairs in place. Okay, now we're going to do my eye look. I'm going to take my Tarte Clean Slate 360 degree creaseless 12-hour smoothing eye primer. I really like to use this. I just use just a little, don't need much, very tiny little amount. And I just rub it in between my fingers and then kind of warm it up in between my fingers here, get it nice and ready, and then pat it on my eyelids. And I like to use this to cancel out some of the color on my eyelids and just so the shadows are their true color. And then also it helps it from creasing as the day goes on, so it helps your shadow last all day. I'm going to use this Peach Smoothie shadow by Makeup Geek, and it is just a really nice, just kind of bland, neutral, kind of slightly peachy color. And I really like this to put into my crease before I start putting any other shadows on. I just kind of put it everywhere too. And it'll just help all the shadows kind of blend easier with this first shadow down. I just kind of put it on, and I'm using my Sigma tapered blending brush, E40. Just putting it good and everywhere. Getting ready for all my other shadows. That's that. Then I'm going to be taking my Lorac Pro palette here, my eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to be mostly working in this palette. So I am going to kind of build up my color here. I don't want to go in with a super dark color right away because it's just harder to blend after you do that. So I'm going to kind of build my way up here to a darker color. So I'm going to take my MAC 286 brush, and it's just a kind of pointed, tapered, fluffy brush, and it's really nice for just kind of putting color in your crease without it getting so all over the place, but it's also nice for just kind of blending a bigger area in your crease. So I'm going to take my taupe color here, and it's just kind of a grayish brown, and I'm going to try to get that in my crease, kind of up on my eyebrow a little bit, not all the way up. And I'm going to grab some more, just kind of get that good and in there. So I got that kind of just everywhere in my crease. Now I am going to go in with a darker color, just kind of gradually building darker here. I'm going to go in with Sable. Just pat that on there and just kind of be a little bit more careful with this because it is a darker color. And just kind of darkening up that crease further. I'm going to grab a little bit more. Blend, blend, blend. Gradually just getting that in there and getting it darker. I like to stop like right here where my eye line is. And it's always nice to have like a little handheld mirror just to see like really close without having to like lean so close to the mirror. Protecting our backs here from leaning. So it's always nice to have like a further away mirror and then a closer mirror. So you can see it from further away, and then you can also see it closer. Because what looks good one way might not look good the other way. So I just really like to get it good and blended in there, as you can tell. And I am going to go in with my next color, and it is Espresso right here, and it is a nice dark brown color. And this is one of my favorite brushes. It's my MAC 217 brush. I almost dropped this. And I'm going to pat it in this color. We're going to be getting now to this darker color here. So just kind of getting more of that dark kind of smoky look going on. And I'm going to just pat it in, not rub it all over. Pat it more because we want more of a dramatic look here. More of a concentrated color. And I'm going to move on to the other side once I'm fairly satisfied with that. Move on to the other side here. Looks like I have like a big black eye right now. We're going to go ahead. This looks like pretty dramatic right now, but we're going to go back in and blend out the edges. So don't worry. I'm going to take this Morphe M321 brush, and it's just kind of pointed but shorter, and I'm just going to kind of put a darker black color in this V area of my eye, just kind of darker the outer edges of it. And it's just called black in this palette. So I'm going to use this black color, dab it in there a little lightly at first just to see how dark it is. And then just kind of go on the outer edge of my eye just to darken it just a tiny bit further. Just kind of smudge it around. I have my dark color just all over my eyelids, but this upper area really needs to be blended out. So I'm going to take this same brush I used earlier, the MAC 286, the pointed kind of fluffy blending brush here, and I'm going to go in with a Sable color that I used already. So I'm going to tap it in there and then just kind of blend this all out so it's not such harsh of a line. So it's more just blended and seamless. So just kind of blending that all out. And now we have like a full-on smoky upper eye look. Now I'm going to move on to eyeliner. If I can find my eyeliner. I don't know. We just got back from a trip, so I have to like go dig it up. So I'm going to use my NYX gel eyeliner and my Sonia Kouchak eyeliner brush, and it's just nice and pointed, angled eyeliner brush. And this was just in another brush set sold at Target, and she sells regular ones too, I think. Ones that she always has. So I'm going to dip a little bit in there. And the nice thing about this is such like a dramatic eye look. I do not need to do a ton of eyeliner or a ton of mascara because my eyes are already dark enough. So that's kind of like, because we did so much blending and all that work, but now we're going to get the payoff of not really having to worry too much about a dramatic eyeliner. Whoops, I'm totally using the wrong side because I'm too far away from my mirror. So I went ahead and just did like a simple eyeline. Nothing too fancy because the shadow is just so dramatic. We don't need to go super overboard. Just a nice darkening up of that lash line. And then we're going to go in and to further the smoky, to complete the smoky look, I'm going to go and do a little bit of shadow underneath my eye. And the most important thing about this is just having the right tools, because if you have too big of a brush and you start putting it underneath your eyes, it just looks like you have like really horrible dark circles in your eyes. So the two brushes that I like for this are my Sigma Flat Definer E15, and it is just a flat, small brush, and then also my Sigma Smudge E21, and this will be just kind of like smudging it, and it's just really small little tapered brush. And we're going to use the flat brush first, and I'm just going to take a little bit of my sable color that we use in the Pro palette, and just kind of putting it right underneath that lash line. Getting it nice up and close there, nice and close. On the other side. Nice to use like the same colors that you're using up above, just so it all kind of goes together. And then I'm going to use that smudge brush and use a little bit of the espresso and just smudge it a little bit more so to give us that smoky, ow, just poke my eye, just give us more of that smoky look. And do the other side. Just blend, blend, blend until you're happy. And so that just kind of makes it a little bit more smoky. And the next step is I'm going to use my Milani liquid-like eyeliner pencil, and it's in this color. It's blue. Yeah, it just says 08 blue. And I'm just going to do this in my waterline here in the bottom. Just kind of add a little bit of color. But also just kind of make my eyes that much more dramatic. And do the other side. So that is that. So that kind of the icing on the cake is doing my mascara, and we're going to use the Urban Decay Perversion mascara, and this is just an awesome volumizing mascara. So that is it for the eye look. Yay! So fun when that's all done. And for lips, moving on to lips now, I'm going to use my MAC Please Me. And whoops, I'm going to do a lip liner first. And this is NYX, let's say, Pretty in Pink color. So this is my lip liner. I'm just going to carve out my lips a little bit here. Okay. And taking that Please Me, just kind of a not too pinky, not too brown, just nice kind of neutral pink look. wanted to go with something kind of softer because my eyes are just so over the top. And then I'm going to use this YSL, this is a lip gloss, and it's number 10, and it's just kind of sparkly and pink, just to add a little bit of shimmer and gloss over this lipstick, just to kind of make it a little bit more sexy, if you will. So that is it, I think. I think I'm done. I might take a little bit more setting powder because I don't know why. I'm just like an oily mess. And do my nose and forehead a little bit more. But that is pretty much it. So I have this full-on dramatic eye with a pretty pink lip, and I just think it's really fun.